Hello and welcome to the Personal Touch in Peters Township. My name is Toni Sulkowski and I am the host for this show. The Personal Touch in Peters Township is a show about people in our area who are reaching out to help others, both within our community and outside of it. Many of us are blessed and fortunate to have the time, the talents, and the means to provide a helping hand to others who find themselves in difficult situations. Today's show will highlight one special way as to how therapeutic horse therapy is helping those with a variety of physical and mental conditions. In fact, in an article entitled "The Benefits of Horse Therapy" from the horse's mouth by David Block on the website abilities.com, he notes that horses don't judge by appearance. They look past people's disabilities and they recognize the emotions inside. Horses are more than friends and companions. They are mirrors of the soul. He goes on to say that horseback riding provides physical therapy. Walking with the horse, touching the horse, grooming the horse, they all provide emotional therapy. According to experts and people with disabilities alike, the benefits of equine therapy are indisputable. Riding a horse is a three-dimensional movement, says Mary Laver, the director and president of the equestrian facility All Riders Up in Garnet Valley, PA. When the horse is moving, you're actually moving forward and back, up and down, and side to side, all at once, all three dimensions. And that's similar to the same neuromuscular pathway stimulation that is given when you walk. When you walk and you swing your arms and you move your hips side to side, that same three-dimensional movement occurs. There is no gym or any machine in a gym that can give you what that horse can give you, she says, which is the movement most similar to the way the humans walk. Equine therapy helps a wide spectrum of people right here in our area. It's my pleasure today to introduce you to Lynn Davis, the executive director and founder of Horses with Hope, located on Brush Run Road, Bethel Park, just over the border from Peters Township. And I also want to introduce to you Kristin Huibregtse, who is the board president of Horses with Hope.
Yes.
Kristin. And also Jamie Davis, who is here with us today. She helps to work with the horses and she's a student. And she's also Ann's daughter. So welcome to all three of you.
Thank you.
We're so glad to
us.
have you here to help us learn more about horse therapy and what you're achieving at Horses with Hope.
Thanks for the
in
opportunity.
Bethel. No problem, no problem. We're going to get started with a little bit of background history here today. So, Ann, maybe you can give us a little storyline here of how you became involved and how you arrived at where you're at today.
Sure, absolutely. So we have been doing the therapeutic riding program for the past 13 years, and I had previously worked in the airline industry for 20 years. And then my husband and I got pregnant, and we were in Florida at the time, and I was 40 years old, so I had an amnio done, learned that my child was going to be born with Down syndrome. And so as I was doing the research about Down syndrome, I came across therapeutic riding, and I had previously owned horses when I was younger, and I knew instantly that God had a plan for my life. And I just started doing more research about therapeutic riding and volunteering at various centers, and continued in the management field of the airline industry until I got back here to Pennsylvania. And then from there I used a woman that has a farm down in Washington, PA. I used her facility and horses after I got my certification and built the program there for the first 4 years, and then we went out on our own as we continue to grow. And so today we're on a farm that is a Bethel Park address, but the facility actually sits in Venetia. And when school is in service, we have about 100 people that come through our doors on a weekly basis when the riding program is running. And so Jamie was the inspiration of all of it, and she's
I started all of this.
You did, yes.
That's wonderful.
So so 13 years ago we opened up those gates and never looked back.
Great. And now, Kristin, how did you become involved at the board level?
So I have a son with cerebral palsy and intellectual disability. He's quite involved. So I've been with Annie and her group from the start. So we've been at 3 different farms with her. But the benefits, as you shared with everybody with therapeutic riding, has been so great for my son. So we've been doing it, close to 10 years. And so I just saw the benefits, and I wanted to volunteer somewhere and put my effort somewhere, because obviously I stay home with my son just because he's so involved, that this was an opportunity to share my passions and share my talents of trying to help build nonprofit organizations. So I've been on the board probably for about 7 years, and I just recently took on the board president role last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Exciting, yeah.
Start out
Very
at that
exciting.
ground level
Yep.
as a parent and volunteer
Absolutely.
and work your way up to
She's
help
been
direct
wonderful.
the organization.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So
Good.
it's-
Well,
yeah.
well, let's learn a little bit more here. Horses with Hope is accredited by Path International.
Yes,
Is that
so Path International is an organization based out of Denver, Colorado. It is an internationally well-known organization as well. So all of our riding instructors are certified through their organization, as well as our center is accredited through them. So we have to abide by certain training requirements, certain instruction and standards and guidelines that they set forth, so that we're offering a safe and safe and highly effective program.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you have the quality.
Yeah.
Behind
yes.
it.
Yeah.
That's what brings parents back.
Correct.
Correct?
Yep.
Is when you see that they're so highly trained and they know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And you're-
Takes that fear out.
Right.
Yes.
Because
yes.
safety is
it
a big
does.
concern.
It makes a big
Absolutely.
difference.
When you're
Yeah, it's
working
not a
around
pony
bigger
ride.
animals.
We
Exactly.
definitely have a lot of training that goes into it, and there's a lot involved. Yeah.
And how many instructors do you have that are trained?
Including myself, we have 3 additional instructors. Joanne Murdy is one of them. She's also our barn manager, and she's been with me for the past 7 years. Barb Gaffney is one. She's been with us for about 7 years as well. And then we just brought on a new girl, Tayana, and this will be her first year with us.
Okay. So let's set up a scenario of your parent bringing your child maybe for the first time because you want to try out this equine therapy. What are some of the procedures and things that you go through? And I'd like to hear from both sides what that experience
The
is like.
paperwork part, huh? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would say there's an extensive amount of paperwork that you have to fill out just for legality purposes and just for protection for Horses with Hope and protections for the families. So behind the scenes and talking with Annie about if it's a right fit for your child, because she wants to make sure that it's going to be a successful program from each child. So it's an extensive interview that she goes through, learning about your child, and then it's trying it. You know, for my son Bennett, he could only ride for 10 minutes when he first started the program, because he would literally, taco over, and Dad and I had to have arms, under him, our hands under his arms to try to help keep him up. So at first, I'm sure it was quite overwhelming for Annie to see that my child could only ride for 5-10 minutes and we were done. But today, with the program, he rides the entire program of 40 minutes, and Dad and I just have to keep a hand on each leg, and he sits up by himself. So that's a huge success for all of us
That's a
over
lot of
the
muscular
years.
core.
It is. So it's really built his core.
Yeah.
It's made his hips move like he can't walk. So it's the feeling of traditional walking, moving those hips and keeping them in place.
Right.
So
Share about the Xrays.
Oh, so the X-rays, with my son having such high tone with the cerebral palsy, he has X-rays every year, and when the doctors examine him and then look at his X-rays, they don't really match because his tone is so high. They expect to see the X-rays that his hip's dislocated and out of joint, and we just have minor issues with his hips. So I really contribute that to the 10 years of riding and mimicking
Isn't it?
walking.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it is. That tone is so tight with cerebral palsy that, you have to keep those hips moving and the legs moving. And so for us, we come back every year and we're excited. We're excited to start March 23rd and get him back up on that horse, right?
So what types of therapeutic services does Horses with Hope offer?
So we currently offer 2 programs. One is the therapeutic riding, and that's the largest program that we offer. A second one that we started is more based on the mental health. So we offer equine assisted learning, and that teaches basic life skills to individuals or groups, and character education, building trust and honesty and things like that. But we incorporate these curriculums that have 40 developmental assets built into them, among many other items. And so oftentimes, like if a school group comes to participate in them, it's like a day at school, really. They're learning so much. And then we have an experiential experience with the horses as well.
And do you have a set of procedures that you follow to introduce the children to the horses? You know, are any of them afraid when they first?
There are sometimes we do run into that. It's not very often, a lot of time, because a lot of times with those classes we'll use our miniature horses, so it's not as scary for those individuals. But no, they come out on. And being located on a farm, that environment in itself, getting them out of a classroom and into the farm environment is just, there's so many sensory things that go on and learning experiences that they...
De-stressing too.
Oh,
sure.
absolutely, yeah.
So now, Jamie, do you get to ride the horses too? Have you ridden the horses?
Yeah, I ride them.
And do you like riding the horses?
Yeah, I help put the helmets out.
Do
for
you?
them, yeah.
Okay, so you also kind of do some work around the barn
Yeah.
and help out with everybody.
I set up the trail, the sensory trail.
You read the schedule?
I read the schedule.
Great.
Help groom the horses.
Help groom the horses. Circular emotions. You brush with the curry comb. You do it in circles. After one, front and back. Then after that, there's a brush that you brush everything front and back, and you just brush their face.
Good, and it's important that helps to keep the horses clean and ready for the next people who come in to use the horse. Great.
Yes.
Well, we're learning a lot here about what you're doing with the horses, and when we come back, we're going to take a brief commercial break, and we're going to come back and learn a little bit more about what actually transpires, and talk a little bit about fundraising and how you operate the organization. Okay, so we'll be back to join with Ann and Kristin and Jamie after these few words. Hello and welcome back here to the Personal Touch. We're talking with Ann and Kristin and Jamie about Horses with Hope and finding out how equine therapy can help people who have disabilities. So what kinds of disabilities are being serviced at Horses with Hope?
Such a wide range. Individuals with autism that are on the spectrum, Down syndrome, of course, cerebral palsy, MS, pretty much just about anybody.
Age range?
Prader-Willi syndrome. So in our program, we took on a client last year that is only 10 months old, and that is the youngest that I've ever had. And generally speaking, they should be older, but being the parent of a child with special needs, sometimes I do go above and beyond to be able to accommodate. You know, these parents oftentimes are searching for something that's going to benefit their child, and I'm willing to be able to, you know, offer them the therapeutic riding in a safe environment, and it's, you know, well contained, the horses and things like that. And for instance, that one 10-month-old, he didn't have any trunk control at all. He couldn't hold his head up or anything. And just after 6 riding lessons, he was evaluated and he was able to sit up on his own for an entire minute. So that's huge.
great.
You know, there's so many
Right.
different little stories like that that
Milestones for
yeah,
these
they
kids.
really are.
Now,
yeah.
do they have to come from schools that service kids with special needs, or can a parent?
Yeah, so
Who
most
hears
of them
about
are
you?
just regular families that come and
Okay.
apply for our services, and we offer 4 or 5 sessions a year, like 8-week blocks or 6-week blocks, and they just call me up and do the application and things like that. So
That's how I found her. She had her
Yeah.
little logo on the outside of her car in my neighborhood.
And that's
Yeah.
how you
And I was
Yeah.
searching for a program,
Wow.
and I called her up.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Plus, there's the sign up there on Brush Run.
Yes,
And you have a
yes.
website,
Right.
We have a
which
website
we're posting
now, yeah,
here so people
right.
can see
Wonderful,
that.
Social media.
Right.
Yeah,
And
lots
then
of social media.
That's today. That's where it's at.
It
Right.
is, yeah.
So you have volunteers too that help you, because you said you have some staff on site.
We do. So actually, this year is our first time for being able to pay the instructor. So that's a blessing in itself. It's a huge undertaking for the size of operation that we are, to be able to be debt free and just continue offering the services that we do. So the reason why we're able to is because of all of the volunteers that we have, and we have a list of over 300, but there's a core group of about 25 to 30 that actually keep the program running consistently year-round, 365 days a year.
And the volunteers come from Peters Township
They do.
and probably Bethel Park, I
in
would
Upper
imagine.
St. Clair, Washington, Canonsburg,
The
yeah,
whole
all
area
over
around
the
here in
yeah,
the South
city
Hills.
of Pittsburgh even.
Oh, really? Even the city?
Yeah.
That's great.
Sometimes they'll travel almost an hour to come to us. Yeah.
It's interesting too when you talk to the volunteers what they get out of the program as well. They're helping children, but it's peace for them to come out to that farm, and it's almost therapy for them as well.
It is. Definitely. Yeah.
And do they have designated time periods that they come, or are they only
So
there?
we have a schedule. We use a computerized program called Sign Up, and our entire schedule's there. So they have the freedom to pick and choose whenever they do want to come out. Usually they'll come out the same day for all of the lessons that day, and but they don't have to. They can spend
And
1
do
hour.
you train them?
Yes.
Do you have to?
Yeah,
okay.
so we have an annual training class, and then we do on-the-job training throughout the year, so that as new volunteers come into play, we can still have them participate.
And if they're interested in volunteering,
Check out our website.
Okay.
We have a
Okay.
tab there for volunteers, helping hands, and then they end up emailing me and go
Okay.
that route.
great.
Yeah,
So
wonderful.
Maybe
We'd
we can
love
get
to
you
have 'em.
recruit some more volunteers for
Absolutely,
you.
more the merrier.
Now, as you said, you're a nonprofit, but obviously you have paid staff, and you have to pay probably for the property that you're using, the leasing, and for the animals that you have, of which you have a variety of animals.
Take care of them, yeah.
And so you do need funding
Sure,
to help maintain.
absolutely. Yeah.
Where does your funding come from that you have?
So the top 3 would be, probably the top is grants. So we have a couple big grant supporters like Edith Trees. That's been with us since the start
we started.
of the program. They've been very generous to support us. Another one is from the Hillman Foundation,
right.
the Nina Baldwin Fisher, one of the daughters or grandchildren of
grandchild,
that
yeah.
program, has also supported us. PNC Charities. So we have several of those that have helped with our overall funding and operational costs. Program fees, obviously, we do charge, riding fees for the families to come out, because there's no other way that we could, survive without charging some type
You would
of fee
have
for
to.
the
You
program.
probably even have veterinary services.
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to pay
Right,
for,
Sure.
too.
right, absolutely, absolutely. And then fundraising. We have 3 strong fundraisers, throughout the year.
All right. So
that
now,
would help
what are
us
your
with that.
fundraisers that you have, so we can our viewing
Might
audience.
as well go right into that, right?
Right, slide right in.
Yeah.
Our first one is May 9th, and we're involved with the Highmark Walk.
Yes.
So we're one of the 300 nonprofit organizations that are involved in that, and we try to get people to come out and support us, because 100% of the profits go directly to Horses with Hope. So it's a 5K walk or 3K walk that people can get involved in, or be a virtual walker and support our organization.
Great.
Yeah. Cross country.
Cross country, yep, absolutely. And then the second biggest one for us is we just started this last year, so this will be our second annual event. It's called the Belmont Jewel Fundraising Event for Horses with Hope. And that's being held this year at St. Clair Country Club.
Okay.
And that would be on June 6th. So it is like a gala that we have dinner, dancing, music, silent auction items, raffle items, games, and it's just a fun night of entertainment that is completely open to the public. For whoever wants to come out and support Horses with Hope, we highly encourage it. It's an extremely fun night of just getting together with your fellow people that you like to hang out with. So.
And support a good cause.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then fundraiser number 3
is our bowling event, and that typically happens end of October, beginning November. We've been doing that for probably 6-7 years. And that's held at the Meadows Bowling. And so that's just a fun family type event. You get families together and go bowling and auction items and just have a good afternoon of helping, again, supporting Horses with Hope. So those are probably our 3 main ones.
And we look for sponsors for each of the events as well, as well as the participation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we have some strong sponsors as well. WG Tomco is a sponsor of ours. The Rotary Clubs, the Women's Group, the Blue Knights Motorcycle Group supports us. Peters Referral Group supports us as well. Great. So
a lot of local organizations,
And do you accept donations from individuals?
Sure.
Too? So
absolutely.
As we post their website,
absolutely,
and they can go through.
And that's probably 11% of our funding that comes in is from just individual generous donors that want to donate to our organization. So
they can do that through our website.
So they can be a volunteer, or they can give some charitable donations to your organization. Do you have any future plans for Horses with Hope?
Of course,
I'm sure Ann does.
This lady is always thinking.
I was just talking to her as we were entering the school. I'm like, guess what we did? I always have, my wheels are always spinning, and I'm always looking at ways to be able to help more people and get us out into the community more. So we are currently looking into a program actually involving the city mounted police. And we're in the very early stages of planning of it, but we went and talked with them, and they're interested at doing a community outreach program with them. So that hopefully will be coming into fruition towards the end of this year. And then also we're partnering with ARC of Washington County, which they want to partner with us for the therapeutic riding as well as the mental health portion of it. They're looking at having some of their clinicians actually get certified in the EGALA program that I had talked to them about. So that would be huge, because there really isn't anything like that in the South Hills of Pittsburgh, and the organizations that do offer it are more than 90 minutes away from us. So it's a new, innovative way of helping more people, whether it be counseling services or teenagers that have anxiety issues, or there's just so many different populations that we can help can benefit from those services. So on this farm that you have, you mentioned when you and I were talking that there are other animals there. So there are.
So what other animals?
What do we have?
We have 1 donkey, 2 goats, 2 miniature horses. Well, the first names that Mom picked is Bo and Luke, but we changed it to David and Goliath.
Oh, okay.
2 cats.
2 cats.
How many horses?
Well, we got 8 horses and 3 new ones, but they're included. Now we have 8. That's it.
So those are the animals that you have. Do you have any dogs up there?
No.
No dogs?
No dogs. We don't allow dogs on the property just because
they might spook the horses.
Yeah, they can cause trouble. And so
depending on what
we're all about safety. And I'm always looking at different safety things
important.
and just making sure that because there's a lot at risk. There's a big liability, and we want to make sure everybody that comes out there has a good experience. Yeah, so
This farm is a blessing to all of us. It truly is.
Well, that's nice to hear.
Yeah,
what
I love it there.
Great.
They have a nice view up there. It's really cool.
Well, we hope others will be able to appreciate what you have
Yeah.
and have seen, and for all the work that both of you are doing with Horses with Hope and helping these young people, mostly I would imagine, with disabilities, although you told me the age range can vary.
yes.
I'd love to be able to spend a lot more time, but we're a little bit limited, so I want to thank you, Anne and Kristin and Jamie, for being here today and sharing your perspectives with our audience about Horses with Hope. It's incredible to know that so many people are willing to step up and put in so many hours to advocate for children in our county, in our area, who need a voice and who need some opportunities to participate in such therapy. So we really appreciate you being here today. I also want to thank Ryan Bonai and Kelsey Sylvester, Robin Hodgen Frick, and all the high school media class students for being here today and helping us put together this program. If you or your business organization would like to become more involved with Horses with Hope, please contact Ann Davis, the Executive Director. The website and the phone information or email information has all been included at the bottom of the screen. We thank you for viewing this show, and remember that you too can reach out and help somebody in our community. It's all about that personal touch.